Hey guys, today we are doing the third and last installment in my series on the pentatonic minor scale. In the first video, I just introduced you to the scale and how to play it. In the second video, we talked about some specific licks that you could use in a pentatonic scale that will help you to start make music with it. So check out either one of those two videos if you're just kind of stumbling on this. And now today in this last video, we're going to talk about moving outside of the pentatonic box just a little bit so you can expand your use of it. And welcome to Music with Marky. Oh, wait. Yeah, this. Now that you know how to play the pentatonic minor scale and you know ways to make some music with it, what I want to talk to you about is just a couple little spots where you can move outside of the pentatonic box. And when I talk about the box, I talk about those 3 frets. In this case, we're going to do it in A minor, so it would start on the 5th fret. But that box looks the same no matter where you're playing the pentatonic scale. So we're talking about this. You're just in that spot where you're just using 3 frets only, and you can get stuck in there, and you kind of want to get a way out of it and not just play in that box. And we're not ready to talk about doing full-on like major scale modes, the 7 modes, and maybe doing even modes of the pentatonic minor where you're playing all the different positions. But I just want to give you kind of a head start, a glimpse into how you can move away from that box and what you might see commonly if you're watching some of the great classic rock players and some of the great blues players. And it's mostly centered around the top 3 strings of the scale. So again, when we're looking at the scale, remember that all the notes are whole note bends, right? So when I get up to that 3rd string, that D in this case, in the key of A minor, you bend up. That's from a D to an E. So that's a spot there that you could play in. Here on the note G on the B string, you could bend up a whole step, which is here. And finally, again, same thing. You have A, C, and then you bend up to a D. So you have this little box here that you can move into. And consider it part of the extended box of your pentatonic minor scale. And again, you can bend here whole steps, just like in the regular pentatonic box. So it makes it convenient. Now on the 3rd string, it is not a whole step bend. It happens to be a half step bend there. So we're not going to work with that bend, but this is that extended piece of the box that I wanted to talk to you about. And when you're doing those loopy type of things we talked about in the other, in the second lesson where you can play repetitive riffs over chord changes, if you remember that, you can do that not just on within the box and changing strings. Now we can change positions. So we can end up doing something like this. So it's that little extension of the box going up. You can also do a bit of an extension going down with this, and it's more commonly used just on the 1 string, the A string, to get back to the root. So if you're playing a riff that works its way down the pentatonic scale, right, this here where you go from the C to the A, it's kind of a stretch with your pinky. It can be easier to go back here, and I touched on this I think in the first lesson, but I want to review it here as an extension of the box. That C, those are the same note. And it allows you to keep the finger patterns to something that's very comfortable for you. So it's not a big lesson there. It doesn't take a lot of time to learn that, but it's a position that when I first started using pentatonic scales, I just didn't see it. It took me a while to figure that out, and learning riffs from other players, of course, helped. And I thought maybe I would share that with you in a short lesson here as the final addition to the pentatonic minor scale. I do have a lesson that I want to link up here, which is a way you can add other notes into the pentatonic minor while kind of staying in the box there if you're getting a little bored with this scale and you want to figure out ways to expound on it. And eventually, I guess we might do one where it talks about all the positions of the pentatonic scale, almost as they are modes, but that was more extensive than what I was looking to do here. So all that said, I hope between these 3 lessons, you really feel comfortable using this pentatonic minor scale in all of your songs and get some real mileage out of it like players have for decades and decades now. And if you have any questions or comments, of course, feel free to leave them below and I'll get back to everyone as soon as I can. And until next time, keep making great music. Hey friends, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. It makes the whole world better.